Greetings and welcome to my dear Taurus. This is Ron from Tarot of the Twin Sun. Welcome back. If you're new, please like or subscribe or dislike if you will. Thank you for your honesty, and I shall bring to you the three portals reading that you've been seeking. It's essentially a tool devised. The portals are a tool devised to see timeless momentums that occur, that may occur for you in particular, in terms of the energy of Taurus and the second house. Okay, the second house is open for this reading. This has to do with possession as well as that in which we can hold the realisms of the self. Okay, property as well as pleasure. Okay, pleasure, and we'll go ahead and work from firstly the 1983 deck, which is a deck known as the Royal Fez Moroccan Tarot deck. Okay. Please note that this is for the light. It's intended to be a reading for the light, the side of the light. I do thank you for tuning in. The first portal is open. Okay. There is a period of stasis, static noise, as well as you being comfortable with this noise around. There may be a sense of satisfaction or a detachment through satisfaction through detachment for the time being. This has to do with something that has reopened around you, essentially a feeling of a revisitation of a cycle, especially one that has to do with feelings of hardship. And these come at a price in that you are detaching yourself and not really partaking in the feelings. Okay, there is a feeling of that which is felt, but it's more of the reaction of the mind, something of the mind, where there's a dialogue within, and this is causing, at least for the time being, a sense of letdown. Okay. This has to do inherently with a fool that a fool or a sort of a path you can't take in terms of the first house. A separation here, as well, a movement into really being in the middle of things, not looking forward to taking risks. That's a big thing, a big theme right now. Not really trying to make that first move or make the risk. There is a path here that has to do with equilibrium and karma, give and take with others, as well, where your devotion lies, where your truth is being sought out. You're becoming a student of the mystery of grounded sort of ways of producing these karmas. Okay. And in doing so, there's a feeling that you cannot work with others for the time being, causing a great deal of detachment. Detachment. There could be a type of fear that is influencing the motivations, the deeper motivations within you, but you are trying to let go of these, let go of expectations, let go of that which would make you feel like you are partaking in certain ways of doing things, especially with others. There is in isolation. There is peace, and there's also something where you're realizing a bit of excuse me, what was said or what was done, and these are influencing essentially your quest for truth. Okay, your quest for truth. The seventh house is very much activated, um, and there is an element of love that is being sought out, but it's something that you would not partake in for the time being. Mm, in a way, there is something that you are focusing on, which is a way of thinking, a way of operating in terms of communication within yourself, so that you can open up a dialogue of why and what makes you tick, in terms of the great choices that are offered through Neptune, as well as the energy of the moon, that is influencing the path here, that has to do with you kind of avoiding, possibly trying to not get enamored with others, especially from people from the past, anyone who has a fixed complexion, including Scorpio, Leo, Taurus, and Aquarius. There's something about you that is becoming a chooser, making choices, but then not actually following through with these choices for some reason. There is information coming essentially through the dream world, and these are the mysteries of the human condition. What exactly can you fulfill in terms of the concept of love, of give and take? Right now, it's being negotiated with more altruistic ways or spiritual ways that might trigger a form of a cosmic loss, or a feeling of a cosmic loss, meaning that you may not be able to pinpoint why you feel sad. It does not have to deal with one relationship in general, but with many. And there is a very detached mode here that is tied directly to the energy of Cancer, as well as the moon. And refraining from all of that. Venus in Scorpio is strong here with the Seven of Cups here. Element of not so much dark night of the soul, but something very much similar to feeling like a silhouette, or feeling like you are encompassing or walking through the darkness, and you understand the own inner truth, the own inner light. It's very spiritual reading, this one, and I like it, considering you are not taking the path of the fool and imbibing on whatever comes in your path. Okay. Fairly straight, fairly simple, fairly straightforward. We're going to shift energies now and move over to the second portal. The first portal is closed. Switching over to the 1890 deck. You're dealing. Okay, this has to do with the other uh, significant other. This does not have to resonate with you. However, if it does, please take only what you will. Thank you. I appreciate it, and use your discernment. I see here someone who is on a path that has to do with the development of intuition, a path that also has to do with mm, it's a very solitary path, very lonely. It's something that they wanted to do. The energy of Mercury is infused in that which they do. There's something that is retroactively looking back. Okay, um, part of you is mirroring them. It's sort of grounded, that which is searching through the energy of the hermit. There's a lot of hermit energy for you this month. Adimetia, which is about withdrawal as well as detachment and searching for the method, and that which you search throughout the ether and finding elements of the dark combined with the light and eventually finding your sense of truth, finding your sense of propriety. Okay, this involves investigation, self-criticism, as well as the development of the higher mind. Both of you in this situation are students of each other. One more the student, one more the teacher. But it has to do with the energy of Mercury, okay? So a strong inclination of trying to make communication but not being able to. Um, but it's something both of you are manifesting in terms of the elements of fire and water. There is a polarity here that has to do with essentially some of the more alchemic or perhaps reactive chemical compositions that deal with the energy of Mercury. Mercury being a triggering agent and a catalyst for transformation. Okay, transformation on a grand scale, mutability being strong here. Okay, the energy of Leo as well, of Sagittarius, the ninth house, the fifth house, emerges out of this. This person is trying to find a sense of joy or possibly a sense of expansion. They're using their intuition and they're trying to see how and why things did not pan out between you two. It may not have panned out totally in the way they would have wanted it to. They also have a path on their own to make a choice between two different things. This could also be someone from a different world, different part of the world, or perhaps a different part of the paradigm where they lie or where they reside in terms of perspectives. Their perspective being fundamentally geared towards trying to find or make a choice to really choosing between two different passions. Okay, one involves more their self, the other involves more the intuition to go ahead and reach out or to perhaps produce some sort of effect by expanding their philosophy, expanding their mind. But at the same time, there is something about them that is trying to be very practical. They find this to be a sense of tension, but they need to find footing and grounding within realized practices, realized ways of putting in the time, putting in the effort in their reality. Fairly interesting considering what they are bringing about is a major shift in which the past self is meeting with the present, and there's something very therapeutic in terms of the intelligence that they are running into. Intelligence that is conveyed towards an emotional empathy or some sort of understanding of separation. In terms of conflict with others, they're resolving that and trying to understand their hand in it, as well as how their philosophy has been very callous or not willing to bend in terms of this. Okay, as far as Taurus energy, yeah, I picked this up as well. There is a mode of action that is extremely um, uh, restful. Okay, it's as if you are staying within the fortress of practicalities, the tower of practicalities. I don't know if this tower will fall, but it certainly may be taken under siege. At the same time, there is a difference here that has to do with an isolation, a mode of isolation within the tower, or perhaps it could be a choice towards two things. One reviving emotions from the past or trying to saturate these, trying to purify these through the energy of fire and water combined, creating a sense of steam or perhaps purification. Okay, there is something about you that is in need of, I would say, proper detoxification. This person is going through major mutability, okay? Major mutability that is developing their higher mind and their own self, seeing how their actions are reflective of the choice that they are trying to make, but a choice that pulls from this feeling of they're doing the right thing, sort of thing. That's what I'm seeing. I'm going to switch decks real quick. Another 1890 deck, and we're moving into the realm of the third portal. Second portal is closed, and we'll go to get started now. This has to do with the cooperation with others, as well as the settling of assets and resources, becoming a master of your craft, and also wise in the choices you are making in terms of your career, or perhaps the path of career, the projects that you are making yourself open to. This has to do with a general sense of practicality, severe practicality in a way, really trying to understand how much it is important to find harmony by not doing much at all. It's very strange. You are idealizing concepts, and possibly there's a feeling of joy in this, okay? Concepts that have to do, okay, with etimetia. Okay, once again, the hermit has been coming up a lot, in either in the reverse or in the upright, as well as the Six of Pentacles. There are echoes from a past reading here that have to do with either refraining, moving away from emotional content, moving away from creative things, and trying to ground oneself in that. At the same time, the element of Jupiter in retrograde, or possibly some sort of limitation on Jupiter is strong here. A feeling of rebelliousness in terms of your devotional aspects. Be careful, this might contribute to ill health. I'm not saying it will, but make sure to watch what you are partaking in. Because there's a sort of polarity here that has to do with feeling good in being detached, okay? Which I think is very healthy, ultimately, but there also is something that has to do with the mystery of the cup cycle, the chalices, the mystery of the Holy Grail, the holiest of holes. How do you sort of constitute your sense of happiness or fulfillment? How do you become a proper practitioner of an art form, or how do you find a sense of love and conviviality with others? I think this reading is geared towards more of working with others, and coming up with a type of joy out of that, a type of pleasure out of that. There's something about the reversal of etimetia, trying not to move forward in a dark kind of, on a dark path, in order to illuminate things on that path. There's something about you being very static, very much stuck, but in a very comfortable way and being very content in that. Okay. Something about you has been triggered in terms of your ambitions. Something that you planted before is being watched over by you, and this could be dealing with a relationship or a declaration of sorts that has to do with either a revamping or a repulse of something that has died in terms of relationships or projects, and you're watching over old fields in order to make sense of them instead of trying to conquer or move out into new ones. In terms of energies with others, I think there is a great deal of healing to be had if you wanted it, as Virgo showing up as well as the Three of Cups. There's an element of union that is around you. And perhaps as you idealize and construct a sense of your path and your belongings, where you belong in terms of the fortress of the mind or the soul, you are finding grounding. And this is helping you to be ambitious about past things that have been trying to expand, even though they may be limited. There is a feeling of repulse, of reviving. Okay, what influence all of this and potential sort of crown when it comes to this? It has to do with essentially finding a sense of chance or fortune within that which you've been holding on to already, expanding on that and trying to find a way either to conserve that which you have or perhaps move into a very polarized position and really burn out and purify that by essentially looking to your comrades or your peers or your other relationships, trying to find a sense of goodness in that and happiness in that. And I think that's very important to find some sort of creative pulse, okay? Um, I think if this is resonating for you, I think it would be best to refrain from anything that might feel conservative in a way. Like it's important, yes, to conserve your time, energy, and resources. Conserve the amount of projects you have, or conserve a sense of that which makes you feel comfortable, like family or friends. But there's something very rebellious about you, and you're being informed by, I would say, the new moon, um, and a sort of you may be finding a sense of not fitting in, but feeling okay with that. Stopping on your quest for adametia, for isolation, or being able to expand in some sort of controlled way is here. Controlled expansion, rebellious tendencies against normality, if you will. The advice is to embrace a change that has to do with you liberating yourself from the vice grips of Neptune. Okay, that is what I see, my dear Taurus. I do wish you well. Please like, share, subscribe if you will. As well, I'm available for private readings. Please take care now.